The following podcast is sponsored by the following: Glory or Death Records, darkmarkers.com, and Desert Records. And now on to the show.
Yeah. This is Nathaniel from Falcon Haptics, and you're listening to the Doom Tomb.
We interrupt your death metal to bring you some heavy news. All the good Christians got raptured up to heaven, so if you're hearing this, the good news is you're the coolest people in the world.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Doom Podcast, the podcast for all things stoner, doom, and sludge. My name is Chris. I am your host, and today we're going on the West Coast. We're going over to Seattle, Washington, and we're going to talk to three people making some very heavy music. And their latest release, well, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm not going to talk about their previous release. I'm not going to talk about the latest release. You're going to hear about it and some brand new news coming up in the interview. Let's get to it right now. I have been waiting to have these people on the podcast for such a long time. We're going to go over to Seattle, Washington, and I tell you, man, Seattle has some fucking amazing bands, and this one is no exception. I have Neil, I have Jessica, I have Bryson. The band's name is Sorcia. How you doing today?
Good.
Doing good.
Doing great. Thanks for having us, Chris.
Yeah, thank
Absolutely.
you, Chris, for having us.
Now, before we kicked everything off, we did a little cheers. I've got nothing very exciting. It's Crystal Light lemonade and vodka. What else do we have in the rooms tonight?
I'm drinking Black Raven. This is called Stellar's J. It's a dry hopped lager. This is the brewery I work at. Black Raven.
Oh, nice. What's the alcohol content?
I think it's pretty chill. Let's see, 5%.
Nice. So it's an even. You know, you could have
It's
a few.
a summer lager, keeping it chill. You know, sessiony.
Very nice. All right. So here's the thing. We have to talk about this. Death by Design. It's a new release. It's going to be out July 16th. Going to put it out through Desert Records. And I see there's a CD. Maybe I should ask now, do you think that there will be a vinyl release?
It's definitely a possibility. If we do a vinyl release, I think that we might do like an extra bonus track for that, because right now the CD has a bonus track, but it's only 8.5 minutes. So it would be 16 minutes on the one side for Death by Design,
Right.
and 8.5 with the bonus track. So if we wanted to fill out the vinyl, make it a little bit more worth the while, we might add some extra material. So definitely a possibility. That it's not a no.
Fantastic. And I know we got to talk about Death by Design. We also have to talk about the other track, Dusty. You know what? How about this? Let's get into this right now. We're going to talk about Death by Design. I feel like this is 3 tracks in one. You've got this monster beginning till about like the 6:40 mark. Then it kind of slows down, gets trippy for a little bit, takes you on a ride. And then on that 12-minute mark, ramps right up again, getting super heavy. A lot of sludgy elements, very psychedelic spots. I even like the way you sneak in some clean vocals in there. It is an incredible track. We just played it. If I can remember what I called it, the Doom Tomb Doom Boom Star Spangled Stoner Rock Spectacular.
Yes.
Yes.
So good.
And you were the people that kicked it off. So please, what can you tell me about this track? How did it come about?
Well, obviously it took a long time to kind of piece it together, because I definitely wanted to have like some like heaviness, like High on Fire-esque aggression to it, but
Right.
Somehow bring it back to where it was just the bass, right? Like I wanted like this to come crashing down to something so simple, but we build it right back up and revamp into back to the song again. And then of course, it being so long, trying to make it interesting where it didn't feel like it was a 16-minute long track.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of just us balancing that, I feel.
It is interesting, and you made a very good point that. Oh shit! Did we introduce everybody? I said the names.
You did.
Could you just? Jess, I know they're gonna know you. Bryson, could you just say hi?
Hi, how's it going?
And okay,
and Neil.
And Neil. There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
So we know who's talking when they're talking.
Yeah.
So yeah, as you were saying, you get this long, incredible track, and some of them just drone on, and don't really have a proper direction. And this is what I like, and the same with Dusty as well, because it's no slouch. It's almost 9 minutes as well, and it feels like it just started, and now it's just ending. So, stellar job, stellar job.
Awesome, thank you.
That's exactly it.
Perfect, thank you. That's a big compliment.
So, okay, so now with this track, Death by Design, and we you mentioned about a little bit about what it's about going into collective creativity and exploring. Now, was any of this like pandemic related, or?
I would say after the pandemic hit, we had material that we were just kind of working on, and we kind of came to the conclusion that it could be the next album of material. Right. And we were kind of sitting on Death by Design, wondering how and when we can release it. And it being a 16-minute long song, we didn't necessarily want a song to eat up half or a quarter of the album. So we wanted to kind of create something that was going to tie us over to when the next record was going to be released.
Right.
And so we recorded both of them at the same time, and this being the first that we're going to be releasing to kind of help push the next album when that comes out.
Well, that's an interesting question that I want to get to, is when will it come out if you're working on new material? Because so we're looking at March of 2020 for the last full-length release. We've got July 2021 for this release, and this takes me back a little bit. I feel like I'm going back, not musically to the 70s, but just that 70s style where somebody put out a record like every year and a half instead of waiting 4 years for an album. Was this done, like you said, was this intentional part to give somebody a taste, or was like you just had it figured like this was the right place to put it?
Well, I mean, this Death by Design, we always knew that we wanted it to either be an EP, or maybe if we had the opportunity to release it as like a split, perhaps,
Right.
We were actually really close to releasing it as a split with Grim Earth, but then that didn't end up falling. That ended up falling through because the label that they were working with at the time ended up, folding. So we were kind of sitting here going, well, "What do we do?" And the Desert Records emailed us, and they said they wanted to work with us, and we told them that our plan was to release this 6-minute track. And we always knew we kind of wanted it to be a stepping stone in between, this and our next full length. So,
and then the comment on like what you were saying about the 70s bands and stuff like that. We're huge 70s rock,
especially
fans.
Neil.
Oh my god!
Guy.
And then like on top of that, like the Melvins, I guess would be like one of the kind of the bands that I would pop in my head automatically. Just a band that just shows people that they're an active band, right? They may not be like touring, but they tour a whole lot. But they are constantly having releases. Every time you go to see them live, they have stuff specific for that show.
Right.
And so it's definitely important for us to show people that we are an active band for sure. Like songwriting is something we enjoy, and so that's not ever gonna. We're not going to be slowed down by the songwriting process.
And I see a lot of bands, they actually took the time. And this is one of my favorite parts. I understand that there was a lot of drama and stuff last year, but what came out of it, there was so much creativity. I've seen people put out one record with one band, one record with another band, or an EP. And it really shows that, like, we're trying. You're trying to get music out there, and that is really what it's all about. Now, Bryson, do you have anything to add for Death by Design?
I've never been involved in a song that long.
Right.
And before I was in Sorcia, I was never involved in a 7-minute long song. So,
Nice.
you know, so then it just kind of went up from there. But yeah, I think that it was like once we started going on it, it just kind of came very organically. And it
Right.
was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to play it live. I mean, it's gonna be a journey, but I can't
2
wait
weeks.
to play it live. Yeah, 2 weeks.
I know. I saw you got the release party.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hometown.
Yeah, man. That's
Which is funny because that's where we played our in March 13th, 2020. That was our album release show for our last record at Pete's Incarnation. And then we haven't played a show since then because that was the 2 days before quarantine. And now we're playing our next show. After that will be our release show at Pete's
it's just
Incarnation
it's
for
so
Death by
crazy.
Design.
I
I know.
My last show was March 15th of 2020, and I'll be heading to a show this Friday. So I'm super psyched about it. And you still feel a little trepidatious, but it's like once you're there and you're in the scene, you're feeling it. And it's like, I feel like everything kind of goes away. So Death by Design definitely going to be in the set list.
Oh,
Yes.
for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. We're playing it.
Now, if we can move forward to Dusty, would that be in the set list as well?
It might not be at Pete's, just because it's the song. It requires so many different instruments because
Okay.
I play guitar. I play acoustic guitar instead of. Well, I play bass on the recording, but if we were to ever play it live, I would be playing 12-string guitar on it.
Right.
And Neil would be playing 6-string. It's I don't know. We're not planning on it. I'm playing an acoustic set in August. We might play it at that show.
Nice.
I'm not saying no, but I mean, I guess that's something we should talk about. We're definitely playing Death by Design, but Dusty, since it requires such an instrument change, it's not just like another electric song we can just move right onto.
Absolutely.
And we only have so much time, and during that set, we're trying to not play any of the songs from the full length until at least close to, if not after the release of it. But
Sure.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we will. I don't know.
Okay, so this does show another side. I mean, beautiful harmonies. Really love to hear that. The first thing I thought of was Days of the New in that touch peel stand.
Oh my God, that's crazy. Dude, when I first listened to that track back, I looked at my brother. He was the one that recorded it. I'm like, dude, we sound like Sorcia of the New. I love Days of the New.
Me too.
I'm a huge Days of the New fan. I love that band, especially their green and red albums. The yellow one's obviously excellent too. That one was the more commercial one, but oh my God, huge Days of the New fan. So that's a big compliment. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, Travis Meeks, I mean, he's had some solo work, and he did it was like a 9-minute version or so of Touch Peel Stand. And I was like, yeah, that's it. But obviously you're not copying or anything. It just has that vibe, that thing where you feel like you should be on a stool with an acoustic, and you have the rest of your bandmates around you, and maybe you took an extra 45 minutes to put a bunch of candles around or something.
Totally.
Gently sipping some absinthe or something, whatever.
And being kids in the 90s, watching those MTV Unplugged.
Yeah.
Definitely had some weight.
Big
Especially
time.
with the Seattle bands, right?
Yeah, we love Alice in Chains Unplugged, Nirvana Unplugged, all that stuff I grew up. That's how I learned to play acoustic guitar, just by watching Nirvana Unplugged. I just would steal my dad's acoustic guitar out of his bedroom and just look where Kurt Cobain put his fingers, and I would put my fingers in the same spot, and that's how I taught myself to play.
I wish they had that available somewhere where you could watch all of the unplugs. I mean, obviously, some of them not
Maybe I watched the Alice in Chains on YouTube the other day.
All right, on. So Tad Doyle. Now, I have heard this gentleman's name. Obviously, he has a wealth of background in music, but I have heard him doing so much work lately in, if you want to call it, the stoner doom community. What was it like working with Tad? And are you going to be working with Tad on the next release as well?
Well, technically, we did work with him on the next release.
Yeah.
We recorded our full length with him. But as far as the the full length after the next full length. We don't know.
Yeah, we haven't really even thought that far yet. Yeah.
No, I mean our full length will be coming out. I mean we have you know a lot recorded, so ready to be released. So that's all to be determined, and that's pretty far in the future. But
okay,
working with Tad was fantastic. Tad's an amazing person, and he the whole reason why we reached out to him to begin with is because we're big Brothers of the Sonic Cloth fans, we're Tad fans, and we know that he has an ear for that heavy sound, and so that's why we went to him.
Right on. Now, also, somebody else that you worked with a previous release and this EP is Mike Hawkins for the artwork. Two kind of really different pieces. What can you tell me about the piece for the current EP?
So the song, there's a documentary about pretty much how like organisms came to be formed, right? So like two single cell organisms decide to live together and like host something bigger than themselves, right? So that idea kind of just, you know, the something that's so small can pack so much information that is unbeknownst to the host,
right?
You know, us, for example, right? Is what this kind of song's about, like the micro to macro type thing, you know, as above, so below. And so I think we were kind of in agreement just to having like some type of cell on top of it. And we didn't know necessarily what kind of cell. That's where, you know, Mike did a really good job picking and kind of working the cover in. But it was kind of the idea of it was just having something with the cell on it, you know.
Long story short, the cover image is very deliberate. It's not just a random image that we thought looked cool. It's an image of a cell. It's actually a cancer cell being exploding from, I think it's from chemotherapy.
Mm-hmm. Really?
I believe, yeah. So it's an amazing image to me because it's, you know, death by design. You know, cells, like, how do they know how to die? They just die and then they regenerate, and it's you know, like looking at little cells, you know, moving through like under microscopes, moving and working together, and then they pan out to like a city of people like moving through streets and working together. And it's like, you know, it's like what Neil said, as above, so below, you know, macro, micro. It's very fascinating.
My wife works for an IVF clinic, and she's gotten to see it, and you get to see what life is, and it really just looks like a bunch of bubbles. It's just like bubbles, and there's like nothing there, and then all of a sudden they take care of
what they're doing.
It. I don't know how it works. Oceanside, California. That is where Glory or Death resides. Brand new Kvasser. Bow to Your Masters Volume 2, Deep Purple. Bow to Your Masters Volume 1, Thin Lizzy. Formula 400, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Old Fashioned Assassin, Great Electric Quest. Kook, Red Witch Johnny, Ethereal Sea. Did you check out that interview? I hope that you did. And so many more. Head over to Glory or Death Records right now and defend the faith. Darkmarkers.com. We're going to get into the coupon code in just a minute. Before we do, let's hear some of these titles. Tic Tac Welcome. Hello Again. Kremlins 2. Hello Again. Going. Pentagon. Simon says stop right there. Hail Sagan. Super excellent masters. Little or Phantom Annie. Creation W, and Freddy's Little Story. What are we talking about? It's darkmarkers.com. It's going to get weird. Head over there. 20% off code HAILSAGAN. Hail Sagan for 20% off. Put that in and you'll be on your way. It's darkmarkers.com. All right, let's start out with In the Head. I got grunge influences from the start. Takes this sludgy turn. Kind of music that makes you want to have this like scowl on your face while you're moving your head back and forth. It has got such a groovy, sinister, devil may care kind of vibe. What can you tell me about In the Head?
Oh man. In the Head is kind of a mashup song a little bit. It has a little bit of everything I feel like in it. But it's, you know, it's stompy, it's groovy. We're big Acid Bath fans. And I feel like some Acid Bath kind of comes through a little bit, but
For sure.
that song definitely goes a lot of places. As far as lyrically, I don't know. I think
Well, yeah, the idea lyrically is just about unchecked thoughts manifesting later on in life as some crazy thing, right? Like, you know, as long as you just keep it in your head and keep suppressing it, it's gonna rear its ugly head at some point into some type of problem. So that's kind of what the song is about. In the Head is just, it's all in your head pretty much, and you need to work at those thoughts instead of just ignoring them.
Absolutely. Talk to somebody, for God's sakes, man.
Right.
Let
Reach
it
out and
out.
touch someone.
Let it go. Bryson, what can you tell me about that track?
But In the Head.
Yeah.
I think that's the first track because you guys had that written before I joined the band. And I think that's the first track I learned front to back. That one is, we don't really play it as much as I think we'd like to live. It just doesn't seem to fit our sets as much. But the groove on that's really fun. It's sometimes it even kind of sounds a little Queens of the Stone Age-ish to me, I guess, or
Stone Ages.
Stone Age-ish to me. But yeah, it's a fun track, and I think it's a perfect track for the beginning of the album because it kind of is like a precursor to what's to come because it's got so many different elements to it. So it's kind of showing okay, these guys are gonna bring something, throughout the album.
They're gonna do something.
They're gonna do something
Bryson,
different.
What are they gonna do? Oh my God, what are they gonna do?
You nailed it because basically there's nowhere but up from here. And that is
There it is. Oh,
You got
beautiful. Oh,
good.
You slid into that like home base.
Now this one slows down, gets a lot heavier, showcasing minimalism of vocals in a way to a heavy groove. Minimalist vocal is such a contrast for me to the heavy vocal, but it works perfectly. It goes into a solo that you got to hear it live, and I hope you guys are playing it and gals are playing it live. And it kicks in to just this heavy fuzzed out groove. What can you tell me about it?
So that song actually it dates back to 2005.
2006. 2006. I think we played it live for the first. So Neil and I were in a project back in the mid 2000s together when we were just little wee babies. We've been playing music together for a long time. We've been in projects together previous to Sorcia, by the way.
Okay.
And in one of those projects, I think the last song we wrote was never recorded, never demoed. I think every one of our songs was demoed except for that one. We wrote that song, and we could tell even then that our songwriting our co-songwriting was starting to take a turn. With the sound and the direction we were going, and Nowhere But Up was a song that we wrote, and I think the last show that we ever played with that band, or one of the last shows, we played it live, and we just happened to have the sound guy, unbeknownst to us, just happened to record it at the show, and we got a recording, and so otherwise I don't know if we would have, I don't even know if we would remember that
Not
song.
at all. Yeah.
So when Neil and I we got back together after some projects had broken up, and we knew that we wanted to start writing together again. We remembered that song, and we listened to it, and we're like, dude, we need to take the song and bring it back to life. And we so it's an older song. It's I think it was written probably 2006. But we Sorcia'd it, and it sounds even better than it sounds 10,000 times better than it did back then. And it's definitely a good example of the beginnings of where Neil and I were at mentally when we began, our songwriting for, Sorcia. So I don't know.
Have you progressed or changed a lot from like the previous bands you were in? Were you always in this genre or style, or have you just morphed?
Well, for me, I started playing death metal, and then so the band after death metal started incorporating like the New Orleans tone, like I Hate God,
sure,
Acid Bath,
right.
Crowbar, and so we were incorporating that with the death metal feel, and that was the band that Jessica and I were jamming in as well.
Yeah, it was like deathy grind kind of metal.
Yeah, and then it started morphing into, once we first heard pretty much the Sleep record, Holy Mountain,
changed everything.
And then like Dope Smoker, or not Dope Smoker, excuse me, Dope Throne,
Electric Wizard,
and then like Wino, the Spirit Caravan or something like that. Just that's when I kind of knew that I'm done with death metal. I want to do this, and that was the kind of that I recognized that.
Yeah, because when Neil and I started, we were playing in that band together. He showed me Sleep and Electric Wizard during that time, and it just, I was really big into stuff like Deftones and Hum and heavy stuff like heavy space rock. But then I heard that stuff, and it just, oh my god, totally changed the way we started songwriting. And I think Nowhere But Up was one of the first songs we wrote really after we started feeling those influences in the mid 2000s.
And we're gonna move forward. We were talking about death metal. Might as well bring up coffin nails. Distortion, bass carrying to
sounds
a
like
thickness.
A death metal band.
This dude.
Welcome to Coffin Nails. Yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so I get this, like I said, this distortion, this bass with this thickness. It really reminded me of quicksand that you were stuck in. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It'll be all right. Just let it envelop you. I really enjoyed also the contrast in both vocals, and right around that 350 mark, it just kind of opens up. What can you tell me about Coffin Nails?
Well, let's see.
It was one of the
Coffin
first new songs we wrote, I would say, right? It was like the second one, maybe?
Yeah, so I'll give you, so I was a band that I was playing in, I left the band, and I was doing my acoustic thing for a minute, and I put an ad on Craigslist and looking for a band, and guess who responded to my Craigslist ad?
Hi.
Neil did.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
And I'm like, Neil, it's me. Jessica.
I was like, it was so weird.
Oh my god.
I live in the same area. I like the same bands.
He's like, dude, I can't believe your ad. I like all those bands. I live right by you. I'm like the same age as you. This is crazy because I didn't put my name. It was a Craigslist ad, and I'm like, and I recognized the email though, and I said, Neil, it's me. And at that point, we're like, okay, we're jamming together again. We're writing together. And the only reason why our previous project really broke up is because I had joined another band and our drummer had left, and it was just one of those things, that's just how it kind of goes.
Sure.
So Neil and I think we were just always meant to just play music together, because we responded to my ad. We're like, okay, this is a sign. We need to be writing together. So at the time he was living over in Sammamish, which was really close to where I was. And so I just would go over there, bring my bass, bring my little practice amp, and Neil had these riffs, and we would just bounce riffs back and forth. And Coffin Nails was one of the first songs that we wrote. And how it came together, my gosh, I feel like that was a lifetime ago now.
Yeah, it was in the living room.
Yeah, so this was 2013.
Yeah.
2014.
Wow.
And at the time, we were jamming with a drummer named JR, and we knew that he probably wasn't a permanent drummer. We all kind of knew that, but he was a good friend of mine from a very long time ago, and he played in bands in our area, and he was just, he liked stuff like Clutch and Heavy Helmet and heavy stuff, so he was down to help us, develop some of these songs. So we would go over to his practice space, and he helped us actually develop Coffin Nails. I think he helped us co-write that song, actually. I mean, if I'm right, and he wrote a lot of the drum parts on that one. But they've definitely been Brysonized for sure. But you know, I think we co-write a lot of the lyrics, like Neil and I think I had written the lyrics in the vocal parts for the chorus, and I was like, well, I think it'd be even cooler if you did this part, and then I sang this part, and we did kind of like this cool call and response thing, and it turned out sounding great, and so we went with that, and then the ending I think was kind of mostly Neil just like let's shred this ending, you know, let's bring this ending. So the song's strange because it kind of starts different and then it doesn't end the same. It never loops back. Sometimes our songs will loop back. That one's not one of them. Yeah, I feel like that was like one of the more like sludgy, like stoner rock kind of songs that we wrote. I don't even know. Like, we're not trying to be anything in particular. We're just a reflection of our influences, you know. So
there is a shortage in the world of drummers. I'll tell you what.
That's the problem.
Really?
We went through so we had these songs. We had written quite a few songs before we found Bryson, and we had been going through auditions, and drummers ended up being flaky or
right. You teach them 75% of material, and then something happens. Right, 6 months.
We spent 3 years trying out drummers, developing songs. You know, trying to. God, I think we went through like 5 drummers before and we did not give up.
No.
Right.
And we were so determined to get this project afloat because we knew the songs were good. You know, at least I thought they were good. Like, I liked them. I thought they were fun to play. So I'm like, so his band broke up. I swooped on in real quickly and grabbed him up, and I sent him some jam room demos that we had done of these songs with some previous drummers that we had jammed with, and that's how Bryson did.
I'm curious, before we go into the next track, maybe I should just say Bison. Do you think, so I know if you do an LP of Death by Design, you got to flesh it out a little bit to get more time. So Bison, like, you think maybe you would spit a few bars?
And do some, spit.
I can't. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though I don't mind being put on the spot, but I will say I am not good at freestyle. I am awful at freestyle. If I had something written down, I would absolutely do this for you.
Okay, now how about this? All right, no
freestyle.
Well, I'm thinking like you could do like something to add to Death by Design, you know, like to make it a full album. But how about this? But Bison, sir, could you just tell me like what was a lyric that you did or had that you felt most proud of, like a rhyming scheme or something like that?
I think it was, I think one of them was, if I can remember, it was like, I'm jumping Jack Flash, I'm so damn fast, I can go to the past and bring your ass back. That's one of my favorite ones.
Dude, that's so badass. So
you really were like going after that Tech 9 vibe.
Oh yeah, it was like a, you know, I'm jumping Jack Flash, I'm so damn fast, I can go to the past and bring your ass back, you know, something like that.
Motherfucking spitting over here.
And we're gonna move forward to something that I get when I walk my dog because I'm pale as fuck. Sunburn. It's time. Look, I gotta now. Okay, here's the thing. So when I started going over these tracks, full disclosure, I listened to them ahead of time, and I just write down my notes or type in my notes. I was outside on my porch when I did this. I took a hit before, so as we wind through, the comments get stranger, and this is what I wrote for Sunburn. It's time for me to slap on the SPF 100 so I don't get scorched by this track. My PBR is in hand, held high, and there is a groove to this that is just a monster. What can you tell me about Sunburn?
Thank you.
That was very poetic. That was so poetic.
I'm about to put my SPF 100 on so I get scorched by this track. That is fucking awesome. Oh,
that's great. I'm going to take those lyrics for my next rap album.
True that, yo.
Oh my God.
Word.
Yeah, Sunburn. I'm a big blues fan. I really like the blues. My mom raised me on the blues. My dad was the heavy metal guy, the Black Sabbath, Sepultura, heavy metal guy. But my mom was a big blues person. So I'm really, really in touch with it. And I think that's a lot of the reason why I like a lot of that stoner rock stuff, because it's really just a lot of it's so bluesy and has so much groove. And I like that kind of slow blues stuff. And so I know Neil does too. So when we wrote Sunburn, I think we're like, man, we're like, well, what kind of song I don't know if we were like, what kind of song we want to write today, but I don't know. It's really hard to explain how songs come out. They just come out. And that one, we just knew we kind of wanted to groove out, slow down, you light a J and you just kind of ride that groove, ride the wave and just, I don't know, maybe Neil can elaborate a little more. Yeah.
Well, for the both of you right now, I have a question because it sounds like you're real big blues fans. So this is the first time I've ever asked this because thank you for bringing up the blues. I like a lot of it as well. I got my days when I'll just jam Little Walter or Lil Walter, however you want to say it.
I love Little Walter.
Now he blows a mean harp, right?
I'm going to tell my mom that because she gave me a Little Walter CD for my birthday this year.
Oh, badass. Now, I don't hear. Now, here's the thing. So I talked to my editor quite a bit about what's progressing the genre. And lately, I've been getting a lot of submissions and et cetera that revolve around saxophone in Doom. And I'm like, does it Doom? A lot of times it does, yes. Now, the question is there something you could do with a harmonica, put it through an amp or something, distort it? Can we make harmonica Doom?
Absolutely.
Oh, absolutely.
Goat Snake.
Right.
Ooh.
Sabbath.
Have you ever listened to Goat Snake, Black Sabbath? They all use harmonica.
Oh, that's right. Oh, shit. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Totally.
I forgot. Yeah. All right.
But not. But no, dude. There is a disturbing lack of harmonica in stoner, like a doom metal. And I've said it all the time that I feel like it's a dying art that's really too bad because I love harmonica.
The only one I can think of is Clutch. Clutch uses harmonica.
Clutch does harmonica too. Not enough bands do it, but it's just people just don't think about it. I feel like the harmonica is kind of a lost art, unfortunately.
Right.
So if you can bring it in and incorporate it, I think it has such an awesome sound. I think it matches really well with that that style of music, and I would love to see more of it. I can play a little bit. I'm not that good at it. My dad was a really good harmonica player. He actually had a lot of nice harmonicas that he passed to me, but I don't know how to do it. So I really appreciate it when I hear a band that's good at it. And I think it's a big, like Goat Snake does it. Not every song, but they do it quite a bit.
I totally forgot. My apologies.
They shred the dude.
Are we gonna need to put out a Craigslist ad for a mouth organ player?
Hey, Tony from Lagoon.
Hey now.
Tony from Lagoon plays harmonica.
That's true.
Maybe I'll call Tony.
Yeah.
You know what? That's right. He does. Holy shit.
He does.
Damn it.
Good.
Never mind. I should scratch that whole. Damn it.
But even then, it's still very much. I love the sound of harmonica and saxophone. I don't know of any doom bands that do sax. I think of bands like Morphine or like there's saxophone on like Mad Season and
Dog Fashion Disco.
Dog Fashion Disco, yes.
There's a black metal band that does sax.
Black metal band that does sax?
For picking floors.
I think about Skerrick, the saxophone player Skerrick. He plays with Les Claypool and he plays with Claypool on the Mad Season record. He's really fucking good.
All right, so just to clarify here, I'm going to say more harmonica. I know there's already harmonica. I'm just asking for more. That's what I'm asking.
Right.
Maybe somebody could get like John Pop or.
It's not
like,
that much. It's not too much to ask.
It's not a big request.
Can we just get some more?
Yeah, just a little bit, please. All right, so
one thing I want to say about Sunburn is I feel like it has the best intro in the entire record.
Oh.
The drum intro.
I see, sir. I see.
You don't say.
Sorry.
So now Jessica and Neil, they had this time where they connected on on Craigslist, and that was truly when, yes, you guessed it, stars collide. And I really thought it was going to go one way, and it went a completely different way. It completely surprised me. It was just heavy beyond, and just an absolute sonic track.
That was one of the first ones where we tried to, go out in space a little bit. And, again, like, where I like it when bands can kind of like like for instance, like Neurosis and again the Melvins know like how to go super like, what's the word? Like not like, there's not a lot going on, right? Like they can just do like the drums for 11 minutes, pounding, over and over, or like the bass just like thump on a simple line forever. And like that's kind of what we wanted to experience was that feeling. And it was new for us on that one for sure. And as a guitar player, it's like, well, what do you do, right? And so like kind of scratch the strings a little bit with a little bit of delay and some reverb on it, and,
Sure.
and then when her vocals kick in too, it's just there's a lot of breathing space, and her vocals like really stand out on that part, you know what I mean? Like, and it just carries it. And then of course, like when the chorus kicks in, then the good old fashioned like doom crush express comes in, and
the old fashioned Doom Crush Express. Yeah, I knew that we wanted that chorus to really be heavy, and so then I wanted Neil is the lead singer of Sorcia, and I can sing, but I try to keep my vocals more complimentary.
Right.
I'll do verses and call and response, and
and there's usually like a song too where I feel like you're like, all right, I want vocal duty on this one.
Yeah, sometimes I'll go no. Yeah. This one's mine. But no, most of the, I feel like Neil's voice matches our music the best. I like to just be very complimentary, harmony, call and response, maybe some verses and stuff like that. Right. Add a dynamic, because I know it's a cool, unique thing that we have, and so why not, tap into that. But so I try not to do it too much. I don't want to saturate myself too much in the band. But yeah, that song, I don't even know. We didn't mean for that song to be so long. It just happened that way. Maybe because everything's so slow. I mean, if you listen to the song, there's really nothing that crazy. It's verse, chorus, verse, solo, bridge, outro. It's pretty straightforward as far as a song. But the fact that everything is like very, it's not hurried, I think is what makes it so long. But I like going to Jupiter and back with music. I mean, I love sitting there and listening to a song that will just take me to outer space and bring it back, and a sonic journey, if you will. And I think that's reflected well in that track. And we definitely, that was the beginning of our exploration of a lot of that dual vocal thing that we think that we have a thing for. And quiet chorus, heavy verse, very Pixies,
totally,
I guess, if you will, but not, the song doesn't sound like Pixies, but it's that, it's that, I don't know, that dynamic we really like. So
yeah, I was just watching the Pixies last night on TV. Yeah, great stuff, man.
I love that band. My gosh.
I love that. I like the Pixies a lot. Neil is Neil's the Pixies.
One of the best
Pixies
bands,
guys, for sure.
It was an era, it's just like, that was, I mean, personally, speaking as an elder statesman here, it was like when it was just called college rock at the time.
Yeah.
It was even before it was alternative. It was just, it's something you put on a college station,
And they created like the 90s era of music, in my opinion. Like, when you listen to like, Surfer Rosa or Doolittle, like you can hear the Offspring, you can hear Toadies,
everyone's like,
Nirvana, clearly.
Toadies, Nirvana. Everyone's like, Pixies, that 90s band. I'm like, no. Pixies was an 80s band. They were the ones that influenced all those like late 80s, early 90s bands, And
There is a record label in Albuquerque, New Mexico that focuses on desert rock, doom metal, stoner rock, psychedelic rock, heavy metal, and experimental music. It's time to get lost in the desert with Desert Records. Redbeard Wall, Luomo Nero, Dizygote, Sorcia, The Penitent Man, and Cortege with the Legend of the Desert series. Doors to Nowhere, Abysm, Book of Worms, Spliff Ripper, Betty Benedeadly, so many more. DesertRecords.us. The link is in the show notes. get into the next track, but before we do, Jess, I want to thank you for creating another band name, Doom Crush Express. Thank you.
You created that. You said that.
I'm going to go with you.
Doom Crush Express.
Yes, because you see, I can picture the merchandise.
It sounds like the name of a weed strain.
You know what? Exactly. And you can have like a logo, like the Crush soda, the Orange Crush soda, and just put like a DCE in there, or get a tie-in with that wonderful chain of clothing called Express. Either way, we got to move forward. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Right next to I don't know what else is it. Hot Topic. Yeah. All right.
Speaking of weed strains.
Yes.
Stone Believer.
Stone Believer.
Holy shit! Dun dun dun!
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, so Stone Believer, man, straight up banger, heavy instrumentation with a heavy vocal, murky with a lot of energy. What can you tell me about it?
I would like to say that's probably my favorite song to play.
It's fun.
It's awesome, you know.
I enjoy that song a lot. So it's really fun to play. It's got a lot of different stuff going on in it, and just being able to like just and kind of doing that fast type stuff, and then just kind of bringing it down, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was like the last song we created for the record, for sure.
I think it was, yeah.
I guess what I liked about it was like I had some cool vocal melody like on it. I did all right on that one, and then when like Jessica and I like harmonized for the chorus, that song really took off, and the song's about smoking weed pretty much.
It has kind of a double entendre.
It's like getting enlightened through weed, and then also stoned, being persecuted for what you believe in, right?
Or prosecutor, sorry.
Yeah.
Before we go into the last track of that, so speaking of Stone Believer and all things stoned, do you have a strain that you prefer?
Indica for me. I mean, I don't really like smoking anything but indicas. I don't like to be energized and stimulated by weed. I like to
chill.
Bring it down.
Neil likes everything. Neil will smoke whatever, but I mean, that's just me. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm definitely, as I mature in life, I'm leaning towards indica as well.
I have a 4-year-old too, so a lot of times after he's in bed and the day is done, I use it to kind of
once business
bring everything kind of down and melt the day melt away, and it's definitely it's very I feel like it makes me it helps. It's a stress reliever, it's anxiety relief, it's almost very medical for me, but it's also very creative. We smoke a lot at practice, and not just because we're trying to party, but it definitely centers my focus and
puts you in the mood.
It definitely puts me in the mood of music, and it's a great. I don't know. I think it's a it's a wonderful thing. I'm very grateful that we live in Washington, where it's legal and people embrace it that way. Yeah. So
and I think what we've been enjoying is fucking incredible, right?
Yeah, the strain is fucking incredible. It's a very strong, straight, non-hybrid indica. It's very strong, and it doesn't put me to sleep at all. Sometimes I'll smoke indicas and it'll make me stay awake till like 3 or 4 in the morning. I'm like, it makes me want to. It does almost the opposite for me, but yeah, that's me. Bryson doesn't partake at all.
Okay, so we're gonna finish off with the last one, Repression. Now, I guess this is where I was getting weird, where the ice cream cake sativa was hitting.
Yeah.
Reminiscent of an Eastern style vibe to kick off the track. Rhythmic, pulsating, waiting. The listener is waiting. And then the payoff.
The Yop song.
Reminiscent.
That's what we called it, you know.
Now this is weird. This is where it catches me. And I was like, what the hell was I thinking? Reminiscent of an irregular heartbeat that you're not sure you want to have, but you know you need it. I don't know what I was thinking as I wrote that. But
That's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
But you know you need it.
so what can you tell me about Repression?
Well, that was the first song when Jessica and I decided to meet up for the first time after the Craigslist Finasco. I went to her house and it just came out like
The whole thing.
It was zero effort. It was like it was there,
We wrote that song that day.
and right then it was like,
beginning to end.
okay,
Beginning
so
to
we're
end.
gonna do this again next week, or
Yeah,
like,
it was very clear, because he had a riff, and then I brought in some riffs for that song, and it just came together so just effortlessly,
Yeah.
and we knew that we had something special going, and that was the song. I don't know why it sounds so Middle Eastern.
well, I for me it was the great sensation. Like that.
The Great Sensation, yeah. Yob, at that time, I think Neil and I were listening to a lot of Yob,
Yeah.
really exploring their catalog during that time, and I know Yob has a lot of that sound. I don't know
Right.
where they're and Elton as well. So I like that. So I listen to a lot of Tea Party too. I like Tea Party has a lot of Middle Eastern sound. Yeah. That's right. And I don't know. It definitely tapped into that influence, but some of those riffs in there, we just wanted them to sound. They wanted that big full sound, and this is before I heard bands like Linkin. This is before I heard other bands that had that big full sound. Big huge riffs, and I don't know. It came together, and Neil. The vocals are all Neil. This is before we started tapping into that dynamic of dual vocals.
Totally.
But lyrically, I think Neil you wrote all the lyrics for this one.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So this lyrically and vocally, that one was all Neil, but riff wise, it was a collaboration, and
it being the heaviest song, we knew that we wanted it ended with that song for sure.
Sure.
Yeah.
You've got a few shows coming up, and Grim Earth is going to be a part of one of those shows, and Anthony with Lagoon as a three-piece now.
Yes. I'm really excited to see them as a three-piece. Haven't seen them as a three-piece yet. Super pumped.
Yeah.
It's going to sound heavy as fuck.
So, okay,
Yeah,
so you've got a few dates that are published right now. Now, do you have a full tour planned that you haven't released yet, or?
We don't have a tour. It's kind of booking shows right now. It's like it's really chaotic in a way, just because no one really knew things were going to open up until all of a sudden everyone found out things were going to open up.
Right.
Venues and bands at the same time.
Right.
I feel like a lot of these upcoming spring and summer tours were booked with fingers crossed. We hadn't gotten that far yet. So
Okay.
a lot of the shows that are being booked through this fall and winter, everyone's just like dashing for it. Like venues and bands, everyone's dashing for dates. All the bands are like, we've been getting hit up. We've been hitting up people. It's crazy. Like it's like a clusterfuck. I feel like things will settle down a little bit here soon, but everyone's jumping at the fucking gun to get shows booked, especially venues. They're starving for music to come back in. Bands are starving to start playing. One show that I'm really excited about is coming up in November. It's going to be at Substation. I'm not going to give you any more details, but it's going to be like a Doom Fest of sorts. And I've been working with the booker at Substation, getting that one together, and it's going to be an awesome show. But just to start, just since it's been officially announced, there was a show that we had booked back in 2020 that got canceled, and it was with us, Lagoon, who are good friends of ours, Glass Goat from Portland, killer doom band. Oh my god, they're just crushingly heavy, fucking good dudes. And then Grim Earth, of course, our buddies from Olympia. So we get to basically redo that show, that lineup.
Right on. So, Jessica, what you're telling me is that I have to get my ass over to Washington for this Doom.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be great, dude.
Yes. Yeah, prep your neck is what Glasgow was saying. Start doing your neck exercises, you know. And then
sometimes I go with that old school, the circle. I like my circle because it doesn't give me like a whiplash.
Yeah, just put a weight like a crown on your head and just start just moving around a little bit. Just start getting those neck muscles work.
That would be
or
great.
just be prepared for a lot of ibuprofen the next day. You know, I call get that bang over. That's what I call it.
I'm just looking to get a neck like Corpse Grinder from Cannibal.
Oh, dude.
Yes. Oh my god. Just nail it. Oh my god. So we're actually playing a doubleheader that weekend. So we got the September 10th in Seattle with those guys, and then we're going to be playing Olympia with Lagoon and Grim Earth.
Right.
At the Cryptotropa Bar, which we actually had a show booked at Crypt. I think that's where that show was, with Grim Earth, Lagoon, and Glasgow. It was supposed to be at the Crypt in Olympia, but that got canceled because of COVID. That was supposed to be a June 2020 show, and that didn't happen. So we're so excited to play with those guys. You know, the Pacific Northwest has such an amazing abundance of heavy bands right now, and
yeah, it does.
And we're definitely forming a good brotherhood and family with a lot of these bands. You know, we all got to stick together, and you know, with those guys, a couple of guys being from Portland and Olympia, we're all stretching our legs and connecting, and it's been really fun finding bands and good friends to play shows with that kind of share that same mentality as us. So we're looking forward so much to doing that, to starting that again. But it's strange booking shows right now. We don't necessarily have like a tour, as in like we have multiple shows in a row, but we've only announced 2. We have our CD release show on the 17th out in our hometown of Carnation with a great band named Mother Root from Snoqualmie, Washington. Great friends of ours, and Grim Earth will be on that. And then the September show, I think Lagoon, they announced the Cryptotropa show on the 11th. But we got some stuff coming up for October and November as well that we'll be announcing soon. We're just solidifying some details with those, but it's back.
Right on. Well, can you keep me posted on that Doomfest out west?
Absolutely.
I will. Yeah,
please,
gonna be,
please do.
We're so excited. We're solidifying a couple of details for that one. We're very close.
Right.
This is actually an idea I had about over a year ago now. Was trying to get like a big heavy festival together in Seattle, and sounds like we're going to be able to get it done in November. We got a lot of great bands confirmed. They'll be announced soon, so keep your ears and eyes open, and I'll let you know.
Yeah, please do.
And that's pretty much all we've got so far. We have some potential things happening for the spring. We have an opportunity in the spring to maybe tour Canada. We don't know yet. I don't want to say too much because we don't know yet. But it's jumping back into the booking game it's been interesting because a lot of bookers fall the face of the earth.
Yep.
You know, like it's like who's booking, who's doing. You know, everyone's kind of reconnecting, and it's been a little wild, but you know, everything. I feel like everything will start to kind of settle down and smooth out here pretty soon. So
yeah, as long as everything keeps going the way it's going, and you know, things don't raise up again, we should be pretty okay. Okay, so I have this a few quick questions, and then I'll let you all go. Thank you so much, by the way, for giving me so much of your time. I had a blast.
Dude, it's our pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
We've been having a great time. Seriously.
Thank you.
Not a burden on us at all. Cheers, dude.
Cheers to you.
I'm out.
Okay, so if we can go around the horn, I would like to know, what was the first song you learned to play?
Oh, okay. So I actually started playing acoustic guitar before I started playing bass, and I don't remember my first acoustic guitar track was probably something by Nirvana, honestly. But bass, The first song I ever learned to play, I don't know this. I don't know what song. It was probably something off Rage Against the Machine's first record.
Oh,
most likely, because I remember when I got my first bass, I had some tapes and CDs and stuff, but I really liked those bass lines on that first Rage record, and so I think I would sit in my room. My dad worked for PV. We were living in Mississippi. My dad worked for PV, so I had this PV bass and this PV amp.
right.
And I remember sitting there just like playing along to that album. The bass lines are great, and they're actually really simple if you think about it. If you go back and listen to them, they stand out really well. And so probably like Killing in the Name, maybe, or something like that.
I gotta say, what's bad about that album? There's nothing.
Nothing. I love that record.
Incredible.
Especially if you go back and listen to it now. Holy moly, dude! The lyrics.
Yeah, they speak volumes now.
It's timeless. It's a great record. Really heavy, very passionate and powerful record.
I didn't know whether I should ask this, so I'm just going to do it. And if it fails miserably, so be it. Here's the question. So you have the opportunity to have a list. You receive this list of everyone that has ever masturbated to you. Do you take the list, and what do you do with it?
I do take that list.
Oh, yeah. I'd make a T-shirt of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Show my family how great of a person I've become.
I think I would laminate it and put it next to my. I won a DARE essay when I was in 5th grade. The DARE to stay off drugs. I have some sort of thing, some sort of award somewhere. So I try to dig that out and laminate it and put it next to that.
Oh wow, how classy of you, sir.
Dude, absolutely.
All right. And all right, fair enough. Good positive answers. I like this. Okay, in the apocalypse, what weapon do you choose?
My fists.
I thought about this, and
yes, sir.
I would go with a machete.
Machete.
Yeah,
fair enough.
It's not long enough as a sword where you can you can't use it in the hallway.
Right.
There's no bullets. It's you gotta be sneaky, obviously a little bit, but I imagine in the apocalypse, bullets are really hard to come by. So
yeah,
I think I'm gonna use the records like they did in Shaun of the Dead.
Is that where you're going?
Oh, not that one. Let's see.
Batman.
What would I use in the apocalypse? A shotgun comes to mind, but yeah, you run out of bullets, and what the fuck?
I really like the mace. A mace.
I thought about mace came to mind, dude. That'd be really fun.
But I don't. No, not that. No, not that mace. No.
Oh
No.
The ball and chain.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I'll use a squirt gun.
Squirt
Yes,
gun
pepper.
with-
I'll just have some pepper spray. That would be.
Hey, dude, dude, people fuck off with that stuff,
That's it. Neil, Jessica, Bryson, thank you so much for joining us here. And how can they get your material? Get those killer new T-shirts and the patches and the stickers. Get everything Sorcia. Where do they go?
Sorcia.bandcamp.com.
Perfect.
And if you want to pre-order the new EP, same site, or you go to desertrecords.bandcamp.com or desertrecords.us.
And they also have a killer subscription service. The link is in the show notes. All right,
Great bands on Desert Records.
And then also, real quick,
yeah,
we're doing a vinyl run of the first record coming out.
Awesome. When's that hitting?
Yeah.
So pre-order goes live this week, by the way. Brand new news. So pre-order goes live. Desert Records is going to press our first album on vinyl, and we have not been. That was a DIY release, by the way. So we did not have the means to do it ourselves. Desert Records is going to help us out with that. So we're going to do a pressing of that on vinyl. Pre-order goes live on Friday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We launched the pre-order. We're only doing 100.
Ooh.
That's it.
Is there going to be? Is it just black? Is there going to be a variant? What do we got?
Yeah. Well, we had originally thought that maybe gray would be a good color, but purple. I mean, I like purple and green
My favorite
also.
color.
So we we put it out to the fans to see what people wanted, and it sounds like they want purple.
Yeah, sounds purple.
Maybe in the future, if that 100 run sells out super quick, we might release it. We might end up doing a different color. But it sounds like we're gonna do a purple variant. It's not gonna be splatter. That granddaddy perp, you know what I mean? Like, we are very, very grateful that Desert Records is wanting to work with us on this, and they're offering to do this and help us and
For sure.
believe in us, and so we're so excited to put that first album out on vinyl. We've only ever had it on digital and CDs, so it means a lot to us, and people are excited to see it on a cool color. And so on this Friday at 7 a.m. it goes on pre-sale. So if it's only 100 copies, so if you're asleep, don't sleep,
or else you're gonna miss it. And that is, so that's gonna be July 9th in case.
Yes, correct. So July 9th at 7 a.m. it'll go on pre-order through desertrecords.bandcamp.com. Get your copy. It's 100. That's it. I don't know if we'll do it again. We don't know. So.
Quite honestly, it's like there's so many albums last year that didn't get their due. It got kind of short shrift because we just weren't able to tour. So now this is another way to get that out there. And again, I want to thank you all for joining me. And I know we're going to talk again soon when we get that next release out. And if you don't mind hanging out for just a bit, we got a few other things we got to take care of.
Cool.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
I want to thank Neil, Jessica, and Bryson for joining us today. We had such a blast. It was kind of a spur-of-the-moment interview, but I think we made everything work, and we talked our ears off. It was just a great time, a great way to kick off the week. Let's hear a track, because on the super terrific, awesome, amazing Independence Day special, and if you're not familiar with it, it was the Doomtombs Doom Boom Star Spangled Stoner Rock Spectacular. Yeah, that's right. And we played Death by Design. Let's play a track off their last release. This is off the self-titled, which, if you heard the news, vinyl, 100 pieces, purple.
That granddaddy perp.
Incredible. This is Sorcia with Coffin Nails. Stoner Doomfest that they were talking about on the West Coast sounds so good. Oh man, I gotta get myself on over there. I hope that they announce it pretty soon. We've got something to announce. Planet Mammoth presents July 23rd, Yucca Tap Room and Outer Space Showcase Volume 2. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And, you know, it's the return of the scene. So, like, why wouldn't you show up? I mean, really. We've got some other stuff down the line. I know that we announced Planet Mammoth 2022, and it is going to be a barn burner. Oh my gosh, I'm rubbing my temples right now, hoping that everything is going to go okay and everything will be fine. But you know, we got some time left, so you never know what's going to happen. But as long as everything's cool, we're doing it. Planet Mammoth 2022. CraniumRadio.com, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got the show. It's the Doom Tomb. And I think we're going to start putting on the Mammoth Monday podcast on Cranium Radio, so look for that. And, yeah, I guess that's about it. All right, everybody. Oh, yeah, if you're going to be at the shows, you know, I'm going to have some merch. I'll have some koozies. I might have some dugouts. And I'm going to have some brand new Planet Mammoth merch. You are going to want to pick it up. All right, everyone. Thanks so much. We got some stuff coming down the line. Sit tight. We'll be back in a bit. Until that next time, meantime, and in between time, enjoy yourselves. Get out to those shows. Buy that band merch. And thank you, Ian, from No Masters Audio, for doing all things sound for the Doom Tomb podcast. And don't forget to stay heavy.